What is up, you guys? This is All Day Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you a video for the Slayer. It's pretty much like a rotation combo video, not necessarily giving you a real rotation. You guys can use the rotation or whatever any way you see fit. I'm just going to be explaining the combos for the Slayer and how it all works, and pretty much how you can maximize your damage. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of his basic stances. So the Slayer, it's pretty much a crit character, or crit class, whatever you want to call it. All of its stuff does a lot of combos that increases its damage. So let's go ahead and look at the combo attacks. So you have set an attack, which is double square or double X if you're on Xbox. Blade vortex, which is X and triangle, or X and Y if you're on Xbox, but it's square and triangle on PlayStation. Double strike is square 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 or XXX. Backflip is square square triangle or XXY. Then you got grapevine, which is R2. You can either hold it or press it to pull yourself to the enemies, or you can hold it to pull your enemies towards you. Now if it's a big enemy, you obviously can't do that, but most enemies you can pull. And then you have Dance of Blades, which is triangle or Y, and you have Steel Star, which is hold down triangle or hold down Y. Now sudden attack or sudden strike is just your regular attacks. It doesn't really do. It's just your regular combos. Same with Blade Vortex. These two don't give you any extra damage buffs. Now with double strike is going to give you a damage buff for backflip. So you're going to use square square square, so triple square or triple X first, so you get that double strike. Because what it's going to do is it's going to give you 300% more damage for your backflip. And it says activates impulse charge and slows the enemy down by 50% for 5 seconds. So I don't know exactly what impulse charge is. Let me see. Strikes, inflicts, impulse charge. So I guess you have to use Blade Vortex. So Blade Vortex will inflict an impulse charge. So it'll proc the impulse charge. So you use square triangle first, then use square square square, so you can detonate the impulse charge, and then it'll also slow the enemies down, and then you also apply that 300% damage to your backflip, and then you get backflip, which is square square triangle, which does the most damage for you, or XXY. And then for Dance of Blades and Steel Star, what you're going to want to do is it'll give you crit chance and crit damage increase. So it's only for these two abilities though. So it throws two shurikens that inflict 565,000 damage to enemies along their path. Each successful Dance of Blades increases the critical hit chance of Steel Star by 25%, and its critical damage by 10%. Bonus stacks up to 4 times. So you throw it 4 times, you get 100% crit chance and 40% crit damage right there. And then you got Steel Star, throws one big shuriken that inflicts 1.72 million damage along its path. But you'll have 100% crit chance with that and 40% crit damage, so that'll be really useful. Now we're going to go to the other abilities. So we already went over square and triangles. So you got backstab, you've got swinging chains, grapevine, smoke grenade, shadow cloaking, minefield, flurry of the blows or of blows, killing, and your talent, Scourge of Death. So let's go ahead and look at backstab. It says Slayer sneaks up behind the enemy, inflicts 5.32 million damage, stunning them for 1 second and interrupting abilities. First, backstab inflicts 125% more damage. Bonus is activated when combat ends and when using a shadow cloaking of complete cloaking. And then each backstab reduces shadow cloaking and complete cloaking cooldown by 1 second. So what you're gonna have to do is before I explain anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain swinging chains. Deal several blows in a cone-shaped area in front of the Slayer, inflicting 6.56 million damage in total. The longer you hold down the button, the more blows will be dealt. makes enemies 50% more vulnerable to backstab. The effect stacks up to 3 times. So what you can do is you swing in chains 3 times. You have a whole minute before the passive whatever for this runs out, before the damage buff runs out. So you have a whole minute, and it resets the minute every time you use it. So you have 1 minute or 3 minutes in total, and then an extra minute before you can use the backstab. So your backstab will pretty much do 150% more damage, and it says first backstab inflicts 225% more damage. So if you're doing backstab for the first time to your enemy, or to any enemy, you do 275% more damage to your enemy with backstab. So that's a lot of damage right there. Bonus is activated, like it says, bonus is activated when combat ends. So that means that first backstab will reset once you're out of combat. And I'm in combat right now, so you won't see that 125% damage bonus because I already did it. The next thing, Raid Blind, we already went over. But it says Slayer moves swiftly towards the selected enemy and inflicts 2.54 million damage in total. Pulls the second enemy towards the Slayer and inflicts 2.54 million damage in total. This enemy cannot be pulled again for the next 20 seconds. So it's a 20-second cooldown if you're pulling the enemy. If you're just zooming by enemies, you can just keep tapping R2. You don't even have to wait for a cooldown or rely on resources. Now you got Smoke Grenade. Smoke Grenade is going to be super useful for you for these combos. So it says throws a Smoke Grenade at the target. Dexterity regenerates faster in the area of effect, and the Slayer becomes immune to attacks from more than 5 yards. Enemies, if affected by Smoke Grenade, are disoriented for the first 3 seconds. So it's pretty much like a little immunity circle for yourself. Also makes the enemies run around because they don't know what's going on if they're inside that circle. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is the fact that you're regenerating your dexterity a lot faster while you're in that area. So you're going to be using Smoke Grenade when you're using Swinging Chains and Backstab. And then you got Shadow Cloaking. Makes the Slayer invisible and protects the Slayer from all incoming damages, and makes them immune to control effects. It also increases the movement speed and unlocks unique abilities for 9 seconds. First strikes out of Shadow Cloaking inflict 80% more damage for 6 seconds. If the enemy dies from these attacks, the bonus lasts longer. Enemies hit in the Shadow Cloaking state will attack the Slayer once the effect ends. So, like it says, once you're out of Shadow Cloaking, you deal 80% more damage for 6 seconds. So you're going to be doing a lot of damage for 6 seconds, and then if you kill an enemy, you're still doing the 80% more damage, but it'll increase the time. So it'll be good if you used it if you use this against a bunch of ads, so that you can just keep increasing the time for yourself. But it's also really good for bosses as well. So you got Minefield, scatters explosive charges around the area if there are enemies in the area of effect. Auto guidance is activated. The number of mines depends on the number of potential targets, but no more than 8. One charge inflicts 2.42 million damage upon explosion, which is not bad. I use it when I'm in like close quarters stuff, like a little hall, so all the bombs are in one spot. Killing inflicts fatal damage and reduces the cooldown of Shadow Cloaking by 5 seconds. Available when the enemy has a small amount of health left. When the enemy is defeated, the Slayer gains Shadow Cloaking or has its duration increased if it is already active by 3 seconds. If the target dies at that point, the effect lasts another 3 seconds. When such Shadow Cloaking is active, only one attack is available. So what that means is this is your kill ability. When the enemy has low health, you just use it and then it'll kill them. But it'll put you in stealth, and it also regenerates your health as well. So that's going to be really useful for you. No, never mind. It doesn't regenerate your health. That's with the God form. So that was my bad. But the God form would definitely help out with this. Flurry of blows. So this is like your signature, your ultimate, whatever you want to call it. Stuns the enemy and inflicts 19.1 million damage. Damage inflicted to strong enemies reduces the cooldown of flurry blows by 0.65 seconds. So you only really want to do this against elite enemies, elite type enemies or bosses, so the cooldown is less. But honestly, I don't really use my flurry of blows that much because it's just not that strong, unfortunately. What I would think would be better for this is if it were to like immobilize your enemy and keep them in one spot for like 10 seconds or something. That would be awesome. And not let them attack or something. And now your talents: Scourge of Death. Twilight Scourge inflicts 100% more damage to monsters. I'm not exactly sure what Twilight Scourge is, but yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, and then your invisibility mode. So you have 2 abilities plus your cancel, your exit. So you have Carnage, which it says Slayer moves swiftly between enemies, inflicting 3.87 million damage. Carnage removes all movement restricting effects and makes the character immune to them for 3 seconds. Available in the shadow cloaking mode. There must be at least one nearby enemy. Twilight Scourge. Okay, here's Twilight Scourge. Stuns the enemy for 3 seconds and inflicts 2.49 million damage if the enemy does not evade the attack. Each third attack or each third Twilight Scourge inflicts critical damage with a 400% bonus available in the shadow cloaking mode. So every once you do 3 hits, because you get 4 hits in total with Twilight Scourge. So what you normally would want to do is use Carnage. Use Carnage as your first move to kind of keep them stunned for that first second, and then use Twilight Scourge for the next 3 hits. Because you only, like I said, you only get 4 hits in the invisibility mode. So with the basic stance with your combos for your abilities, not necessarily your combo attacks, but these abilities, what you would use is you would use Smoke Grenade first, and then you would go ahead and use Swinging Chains, and then you would use it 3 times, and then you would use Backstab so you can get that damage, especially for the first hit or first Backstab damage increase, or yeah, damage output. And then after all that, you would use Shadow Cloaking, and once you got Shadow Cloaking, then you would inflict Invisibility mode, and then use, like I said, use Carnage first, then Twilight Scourge 3 times. And after you do that, you just start doing your combos. You do Blade Vortex, Double Strike, and then Backflip, or you can do Dance of Blades and Steel Star. The Dance of Blades stacks and then Steel Star. Doesn't really matter which one you do or not. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Like I said, you're going to use, well, you can use R1 first, or you can use Smoke Grenade. So I'm going to just go ahead and use R1 first, and then use Smoke Grenade, R1 again, and then just wait for it. Alright, now R1 again. And now you're going to use Backstab, and then you're going to use, that's Blade Vortex again, and then 3 squares, 1, 2, and then triangle. So this is what it'll look like with just the combo attacks. You use square, triangle, and that's what Blade Vortex looks like. And then you would use square, 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 and then as you can see on the bottom left corner, you have 5 minutes to do Backflip. So you have, I'm going to use Vortex again, and then now I'm going to do Backflip. And now it disappears, and you do a little bit more damage. And then here's your shurikens. So you use 1, 2, 3, 4. You got that. You got 10 seconds to use it. So you go ahead and use that, and it disappears. But you get that auto crit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Auto crit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Auto crit. Oh, whoops! I messed that up. So when you hold it, you got to make sure you get it past the line, because I just messed up right there. Now you're gonna use the invisibility right here. 1, which is triangle, and then 1, 2, 3, right there. You can't see the numbers for some reason, but now I'm gonna go ahead and throw Smoke Grenade back down, and then hold this, do it again, and do it again, and then now you gotta wait for Backstab, and you got Backstab. And that's pretty much it, though. That's really all the combos for the Slayer. You can make up your own rotation. This is just to show you how the combos work for the Slayer. You can make all the combos work in your favor. Let me do this. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, if this video helped you out at all, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe, If you want to see any more combo videos, if you want to see builds, like rotations and whatnot, let me know down in the comment section of who you want to see, and then I will try my best to, you know, make it happen. I mean, it's not too hard. It's not like I gotta make a build. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is all day any day one on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.